So, quick review. Loved it. Didn't love it as much as Winter Soldier. It is currently my third favorite solo film, just under Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, but above the first Iron Man. Currently my second favorite film of the year, just under Avengers Age of Ultron. It's a smaller, more personal film and doesn't try to raise stakes and make things bigger, and instead becomes a heist film with a lot of comedy and cool action scenes that don't involve armies of enemies while destroying cities. The shrinking effects are great. Michael Douglas as Hank Pym was great. Paul Rudd was a good as Scott Lang. The way they fit this into the cinematic universe by making Hank Pym have been Ant-Man while working for S.H.I.E.L.D. in the 60s was great. This doesn't even feel like an origin movie like Batman Begins or Spider-Man 1, since Ant-Man technically already existed, and instead feels like that cop at the end of Dark Knight Rises becoming Batman. A scene that involved another Marvel character was also great and might be my favorite scene. The humor was great. The characters were well written. The pacing was very quick, making the film feel tight and kept things going and never became boring. The only negative thing about this would have to be the villain, as with all Marvel films. But for some reason, this one didn't bother me as much as the other movies. The villain in this one is a man who was mentored by Hank Pym, but because Pym doesn't want to reveal the Ant-Man secrets, he doesn't completely open up to the guy, and it feels as if Hank is pushing him away. He eventually takes over the company after Hank retires, but not because he's some Iron Man villain that just wants to take over the company, but because Hank retires and this guy was the best qualified to run it. He doesn't even try to steal Hank's formula. He discovers it on his own while searching through the files, and he tries to replicate the formula. He doesn't even necessarily hate Hank or try to kill him. He constantly tries to convince him, and you can feel the relationship they have. And at the end, when he does become evil, it's not like Obadiah Stane in the third act where he tries to kill Tony to take over the company and to have his suit because reasons. This guy goes crazy because of the Pym particles that allow you to shrink. So there's a reason behind his madness. That being said, he's no Loki or Ultron, but he's no Obadiah Stane or Malekith either. He's one of those great in-between villains. So that's not a negative, but it's really the only bad thing I can say about this movie, surprisingly. So I can definitely say I would rewatch this movie anytime. Man, Phase 2 started off kinda meh, but ended with greatness. I seriously can't wait for Civil War.